Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sane Minds. You might have heard that Trump has just scrapped the college racial bias policies that a lot of colleges have been implementing, where they've been using people's racial background to admit them into the college. Now, they've been saying that this is because of diversity, right? This is something that Obama actually put into place, not the affirmative action that John F. Kennedy did, where that was to mostly workplaces and such like that, but this was something that Obama had put into place because he felt there wasn't enough diversity in U.S. colleges. And by that, of course, he didn't mean white people or even Asians, as had been happening with this Harvard situation that has been going on, where they're getting sued and everything over racial discrimination because they're not letting in enough Asians because there's too many smart Asians that are applying is the situation. So Asians are flooding into the school. They don't want that because then there's not enough of the oppressed minorities, which, according to liberals, I don't think that most people consider Asians oppressed, even though that there's many times in history that you could find when Asian people were under some sort of oppression from someone, whether it was in the United States or elsewhere in the world, much like you could find white people too, but we're not really going to get into that right now because that's something that would take a very long time to break down in another video. But yeah, so this is something that Trump has just scrapped, and the liberals are going insane about it, thinking that this is just one more racist policy that Trump is putting into effect. And in reality, if you think about it, this is going to help black people. This is not going to allow them to have an easier time getting into the same colleges that white people and Asian people get into, because a lot of times you have people that get in on something like affirmative action and they can't keep up, is the sad truth. They can't keep up with the workload, with the demand of why it was harder for these other people to get in there. Because let's say that white people are the baseline, right? They might be just the since they're also the majority, they're going to be the most people at most schools. So they're just going to be the baseline, right? So most tests when they take like the SATs, they actually don't give any points to white people, but they actually might take some away. But then they might, or they do, not that they might, take away points from Asians as well. They take away more points from Asians than they do white people. Then they actually give some points to Hispanic people, and then black people were the ones who actually receive the most bonus points on the SATs. And then these are also taken into account when they apply for admissions. So people are getting in and they're having an easier time getting in, which is creating people who get into a situation where they can't keep up. And they're either passed along, or maybe they're maybe the bottom of their class, but they're not producing the top quality people, and it has nothing to do with their race. Let's get that straight, right? I'm not trying to say that a black person can't do it. It's just that on average they don't, and that's the situation that reality is in, and that's where we find ourselves. So people could try and point to that it's racist for Trump to do this, but in reality, he's just making it even. He's saying that if you can get in based off your merit, then you'll get in. I don't see many liberal professors and people who are handling admissions at these schools going to discriminate based on race. If anything, they're still going to somehow pick black people, even if the policy is supposed to be scrapped, right? So I don't see this hurting black people at all. If anything, it's going to help them to make them be on the same level as everyone else to get where they want to go in life. And I think that in the end is going to be extremely helpful for black people. So no, this policy is not racist at all. If anything, it's righting a wrong, something that Obama did. And Obama, as I'm sure some of you know, has been one of the worst presidents on racial problems in history. He's stirred up so many things when he comes out and says, but Trayvon could have looked like my son, days after the shooting, before any type of information is even processed yet, before we know the full story about anything, before any kinds of forensic analysis. He's coming into the picture, and I don't think that's helpful. But alright guys, if you'd like some new content and want to hear some more about all of this, then just go ahead and like and subscribe. And as always, I appreciate it, and I will try and make more videos and more often. I've had a lot of things going on in life that sometimes you just can't, tear yourself away from to put in the time and effort that you need to make decent videos. But I am going to try and do that again. So thank you guys, and have a good night.